Hello. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to do a European mount on an elk skull. This is about a 300 class bull. As you can see, you want to get as much of the meat off of it as possible. Take the bottom jaw off unless you want it. Take the eyes out. The brain is still in there, but we'll get that out later. And you're going to need a turkey fryer. I have a double here, it's not necessary. And then a big can. That's probably the biggest thing. This tub, this wash tub or galvanized tub or whatever it is probably the best size because it will help hold the antlers up. You can do this for deer, mule deer, elk, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do the elk right now, and stay tuned. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to take cellophane or plastic wrap and wrap it around the bases to the best of your ability. Get that nice and tight in there. And then I took a rubber band, I cut it, and then retied it around here to hold that up there as much as I can. You can use packing tape on top of the plastic if you'd want. I choose not to. Then you want to come on top of that and you put foil, you know, 10 inches above the water line would be great. This is probably about 6 or 7. That's just to keep the water, the boiling water, from discoloring the natural color of the antlers. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that, and we'll keep going. Okay, now we have them both wrapped, and I'm going to put a little bit of this grease cutter detergent. I use Palmolive, it's my go-to, but I'm going to put just a little bit in here. It's not necessarily important, as important on the first one because it's going to get pretty greasy, but when you dump that water out and refresh the water, that helps cut some of the grease and the fat and the bone, so I would suggest that. I'm going to wait. I just started this, so I'm going to wait until it almost starts boiling before I put it in. And then the reason why I like this type of a tub is that the sides are at an angle to where it will hold the horns up and it'll lay flat in the bottom. So I will check that out here in just a minute. And we're going to let it boil anywhere. Kind of depends on your unit, but I would say 4 to 6 hours should take care of it. If it's real windy and it doesn't keep the heat right on the bottom of this thing, may take a little bit longer, but typically about 4 hours. Elk might take a little bit longer, deer will take less. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, so it's starting to boil. I've got the base completely submerged. It's a little high on the, I don't like having the bases in the water like that, but I'm going to move that here in a minute. And then we're just going to kind of keep the water level right about here, best of our ability. And we're just going to keep an eye on it. And that's why I like this tub, because this tub will hold those antlers up without having to tie them up. You can do it in the garage or under a tree where you can tie it up. Deer, usually you don't have to really mess with too much. But alright, we'll check back in. This is how you do it. Okay, we moved into the garage because it got cold outside and it was hard to keep the water boiling, so we actually took a little bit of extra wood and kind of covered up the spaces. And but it's been going for about 6 hours, and now I'm going to take most of the meat you can see is falling off the bone, and I'm going to take some pliers and a knife and kind of clean all that up and put it back in a little bit longer, and then I'm going to end up taking it to the car wash and just spraying that off and spraying out the cavities, the eye sockets, the nose, get the brain that's in there. It's all mushy, I'm sure. You stick the car wash hose in there and cleans it out real well. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, I've now mixed the consistency. I did buy this activator stuff. You can use peroxide to mix in with the powder bleach for hair. I bought this just because they said it came with it, and the lady said other guys have come in to buy the same stuff for the same reason. But that's the stuff that I'm using. You want to make it kind of a paste. Again, you can use peroxide. It wants to be about that consistency, so you can then paint it on and leave a big thick residue on there. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and knock that out now, and then we'll show you here in a little bit. Okay, so I've got it pasted in this paste. You can see it looks like ice cream frosting, maybe a little bit less. And I really kind of double up on where the seams are on the skull, and where there was like dark stuff, like right in the eye sockets, right on this porous part around the edge of the eyeball. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let that sit on there, and it's gonna dry on there. It's gonna turn to dust, and I'll flake it off later, and it'll be bleached. And if I need to come back, I can come back with a spray bottle with peroxide, kind of give it a coat, especially like inside the nose cavity. It's not that that's that important, but it's really hard to get this little brush up in there, so I will spray some peroxide when I get all done. And then I'm gonna wrap this in cellophane to the best of my ability. You can see on here where I got a little bit of the bleach on the horns. I need to get that off here pretty quick. Right there on the handle right there, I need to get that off. But it'll be fine right now as long as I get it here in the next 5 minutes or so. But yeah, be real careful where it's real porous and kind of darker bone before you start, just to really cake that stuff on there. And then we're gonna wrap it in cellophane, leave it for about 48 hours. I'm gonna brush that stuff off of there, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, that's how you roll. That's how you roll. Okay, day 2 is done. The first day we boiled it. Second day didn't take much. We just pasted this cream stuff on there, and then I just wrapped it in cellophane to kind of hold that in, keep that compound as moist as long as it can to help soak in there, even though eventually it is going to dry and turn to dust. So I'm going to let that set for about 48 hours, come back, peel it off, brush it off, and we'll take a look at that. This is how we do it, folks. Okay. Okay, we had let that stuff dry, and then I came back and just brushed off the kind of dusty residue. I used one of these to brush it off with. I got it at Walmart for like $3. And then this is really handy for like doing inside the eyes and stuff like that, inside the nose. But that's pretty much it. Turned out pretty good. You can wash it off, you know, now. I could probably rinse it off if I wanted to, but I'm not too worried about it because I think I might, I don't know, I haven't decided, but I might go ahead and mount it. But at least this makes it presentable to kind of handle and look around. Doesn't look too nasty, but there you go. Save yourself money. Do it yourself.